Hi. Hi, Charlie. Thanks for joining. I'm on YouTube at the same time, and I think this is pretty awesome. So I can see your comments on Periscope, and I can also see your comments right here on YouTube. So I think that's pretty good. I finally set it up so that we have something to work with here. I have my iPhone 8 Plus that lets me be on YouTube, and you guys get a panorama of what's happening on Periscope. I'm on today because I think there's nothing more important than discussing how do we get everyone to vote and how do we get everyone involved in their own self-interest. What I'm reading is discouraging. What I'm reading is that folks in rural areas who are not educated vote GOP. And I don't understand why they do that. It's not in their self-interest. Hi, and welcome, and thanks for joining. We're talking about rural communities voting for Republican candidates who don't necessarily vote for them. Look at Mitch McConnell and what he just said. He just advocated that having an election holiday, a voting election holiday, was something that was being perpetrated by the Democrats as a hoax. Really, having a voting holiday, if we don't have no excuse, universal absentee ballots that can be mailed in to our Secretary of State and a citizen group, is self-defeating unless we have a holiday. I know people in my city, New York, wait 4.5 to 5 hours online to vote. That's dreadful. So, though we're making some progress in voting reform, it's certainly not sufficient. And I don't understand why do rural folks vote Republican. Hi, and welcome. And I think you're new. I don't know who you are. I've had some incredible comments on my Twitter account at Grandma J. Silver to articles that I have posted about inequality in this country, whether it's mass incarceration, whether it's bringing people electric cars where they need it, whatever the occasion warrants, the underserved are underserved. And you gotta believe it's totally purposeful. There's no money in the underserved. And that's the person that Lincoln, Teddy Roosevelt, FDR, and Lyndon Baines Johnson wanted to lift up out of poverty. They all knew that it was the forgotten person, the forgotten man, the guy who's too much in debt in his farm, the small business person who can't get customers or loans or compete with monopolies, the underpaid workers in our country. Hi there. all of these people are forgotten, and nobody cares unless we, the people, decide it's time to care. It's totally up to us. Hi there and welcome. Thank you for joining, Wani. Uh, this is really a universal problem. It is probably in every country. It's, it's the wealthy who are served. It is the wealthy who get the grant money and the legacies to universities, and it is the middle class that is squeezed all over. But it doesn't have to be that way if we become involved in the politics of our country. In America, it may be easier than most because we don't fear being murdered for advocating for people who will advocate for us. Hi there, and welcome, first timer, to Periscope. And I think that that is the beauty of the rule of law. With the rule of law, we have protection. We can have a slowdown. We can strike. We can walk off a job. We can organize. So it's saying this, I just cut off on Periscope. If you can join me on YouTube, that would be super. Hi, there's no screen on Periscope, though I see people are joining. I have a screen on YouTube. You just have to go to Joyce Silver. I don't know if I'll be able to get your comments or not, and I'll try to split my time between the two. So if you can come to YouTube, that would be great. Okay, well, I guess people can log on, but you just won't see me unless you get to YouTube. And it's interesting, nobody's here on Joyce Silver's channel, and it's going to be the same topic. I was doing a simulcast. So you can hear my voice, but you can't see me. But I can read your comments. And what I'd like to say is, if you'd like to discuss why the rural community is not voting Democratic in their, which would be in their best interests, I'd like to understand the problem, because certainly the GOP is not acting in the best interests of the country at this point in time. Those who support Donald Trump and his administration are not supporting we the people. So if anyone can tune into YouTube, that would be super. Otherwise, I guess this will be a podcast, and you guys on Periscope will not see me, but I am here on YouTube as well. The other thing I wanted to say is I'd like to be able to collect your stories and the projects that are important to you. I know what's important to me, or what I think should be important to all of us. But I'd like your input on that as well. It worked for The Guardian. They were able to get $1 million in subscriptions in 1 month. I'd like to be able to do the same. And what they're going to do with The Guardian is they're going to follow the direction of the people who wrote to them. Hi there and welcome. Who wrote to them and let them know what projects are of concern to them. For me, I thought it was going to the Far East and looking at their interconnect connections, their infrastructure, their trains, their mass transportation, their renewable energy programs, their health care, and their educational programs, and bring it back to you. That's what I thought was important. That's what I wanted to raise money for before actually campaigning as your representative to the federal government. Because we need to know what's possible. But when I see the personal stories of some of you on my Twitter account at Grandma J. Silver, it makes me very sad that so many suffer just because of the color of their skin, their race, or their religion. Hi there, and thank you for joining. You're getting a podcast on uh, on Periscope, while I am on live on YouTube at uh, Joy Silver. That's my channel. And I have been doing the exact same, it's a simulcast, but unfortunately, it looks like when I got the warning that said, you're filling up your storage, it's really true. I have filled up my storage. So while you can join Periscope, it is not really effective on uh, my iPad. It looks like my iPad has gotten all the storage, it has filled up its storage, and I see there are a lot of one-time people there on Periscope as well. So thanks for joining. Uh, I have a question for everyone. Should I continue on YouTube or should I go back to Periscope? I could do it on my iPhone easily enough. What do you think? Any comments, anyone? Or are you happy to do what we're doing now? I think they're both serious comments on how to bring people who are poor to vote and to also have them to become aware of what is their self-interest so that they're not in such a hole that they think they'll never get out of it. It's not true. They can get out of it, but you need help. And the government is not providing it, though it should. This is not charity. This is help, true help. Hi, and thanks for joining. Okay, so you think both is good. All right. I'll continue on both. Your call. That's fine with me. So it's like a podcast instead of a video. And this is a video on YouTube. Um, if you want either one, you can reach me at either at Grandma J. Silver on Periscope or Twitter. And if you want me on YouTube, it's under my name, Joyce Silver. and it's the top is the same. America Speaks the Voice of Joyce. And I am looking for people to donate to America Speaks the Voice of Choice so that I could do travel to the Far East initially, and certainly take you with me on my journey. All subscribers would absolutely be able to see what I see. And then I would hold town hall meetings when I got back so that you know what is possible in our world. Switzerland has almost, I'd like to go back to Switzerland. They have almost the exact same health care as we do. They have something like the Affordable Care Act, I understand, plus private insurance. For those who are wealthy, it's probably a good way to go. For those of us who are middle class and below, absolutely not. We need a pass. When I had my hip revisions, $250,000 was spent between two surgeries. That's a hell of a lot of cash, unless you've got over maybe 10, 20 million bucks. So I would not have been able to afford it. It would really be impossible for most people to do so. Hi, Eduardo, and welcome. If you want to see my face, it's on YouTube under Joyce Silver. If you're only interested in the podcast, be my guest on Periscope. Also, let me tell you that I am considering uh, support for my subscriptions on both YouTube and Periscope. On Periscope, I have very few followers. I need to have at least 1,000, and I certainly hope that we can get to that number as quickly as possible. And I would like to solicit funds for projects that you're interested in as well. If you support my going out of the country to see what's happening in other areas of the world where they've achieved excellence in healthcare, education, and infrastructure, let me see what has happened. Let me be your eyes and ears. Let me ask the right questions for you, or submit your questions and your stories and what you would like me to do to make this a conversation that appeals to all of us all the time. That's what The Guardian is doing, and I'd like to do the same. So I, I believe I am a representative of the middle class. I know I am late to politics, but I was working 18-hour days, and really, that was my life. I took 10 years off to raise kids, but then went back to school as a scientist and worked for humane multinational corporations. So I know what capitalism with a social conscience is like. Hi there and welcome. And I also know from reading books and reading about presidents who I think were amazing that They rose to the occasion during hard times. They cared about everyone. Teddy Roosevelt did, and he investigated for himself, and the rise of investigative reporting grew up because of him and his need to know what was happening to the people especially after Herbert Hoover's disastrous administration. And he too had a crash to deal with. And he did. He brought in a lot of new social programs. Hi and welcome. FDR, in my estimation, was amazing. After he got polio, he really not only set out to help himself, but he set out to help everyone. Thank you for joining, Elizabeth. I don't see, except for Charles, I don't see old followers, but it's nice to see new ones because Lord knows everyone has something to contribute. If it's a story you want to send me, please do so. You can email me at jsilver-150 at earthlink.net. If you want to contribute to more journalism and more understanding of our world, you can do so through my PayPal account on the blog site. I certainly can't solicit anything on YouTube unless I get 1,000 members. So if that's possible, well, that's what we're shooting for. And nobody has come back with what's happening in rural America, but I've got to believe that those folks are in denial. They've just been voting one way so long, they don't understand that they can do something else, that they can actually change their lives. Takes time to realize you can do it. Hi there and welcome. Change is not easy. Having real empathy and compassion is not easy. And understanding is not easy. It's so much easier to deny reality of what's happening. But it doesn't have to be that way. The real world is a glorious place to be. And we have problems, true, but they're not insurmountable. Not if you care. If you care, we can change our world together. There's no question in my mind that that's a real possibility. I know I did it, but I didn't do it alone. When I was at Ford, I changed their culture, but I had the backing of Henry Ford and the operating committee of Ford Motor Company. When I was at Pfizer, I also changed their culture. We spun off a division, but we were mindful to keep people employed and make sure that they understood that they had a job no matter what happened to divisions within the Brooklyn plant. And when I was at Bankers Trust, I did indeed instill accountability. Nobody could change numbers. unless there was a signature attached from an executive vice president. I actually went to the chairman of the board and asked him, did he want accountability? And he did. And so from all of those multinationals, I learned to lead people until I had my own people and I was able to lead them as well and have a relationship with them till this day. So to me, it's a pleasure to be in management. Hi and welcome. I thought that we would be able to uh, have I guess my face appear in both places, but on Periscope, you guys have a podcast. On YouTube, I'm live. So tell me what you want. Tell me what you want me to do. If you agree with my project, support me. That's all I'm asking. And then I guess I will do what most people do when they campaign for for the presidency. I will come to you and speak to you about real programs. No sense giving you platitudes. No sense lying to you. It doesn't work. Hi, Jerry, and welcome. Uh, you really have to talk the talk and walk the walk. And I don't think to be well rounded, uh, it has to be concentrated just on us here in America. To be well rounded, I must be able to go out and see the foreign countries that are doing so much better than we are and let you know what's possible because I think a lot is possible. We're not limited, right? Remember uh, the famous poem, right? Man's grasp should exceed his reach. And it does, and it can. We've gone to the moon. We've recovered from the Dust Bowl. We've recovered somewhat from the crash of 2008. Unfortunately, there was not enough of a social safety net for everyone, and wages are stagnant, and monopolies are killing off product development. That's got to change. We've got too many bright people who have been left behind, and it is here in America, it's all over. Hi there and welcome. Uh, Nice to see new faces. I really am asking for your donations and your ideas. I'll tell you again, my email account, it's jsilver hyphen 150 at earthlink.net. Write me your stories and press the PayPal button. It's at increments of $5. If you feel it should be lower, let me know because I'll take as little as $1. But I think this is something that we need since so many do not trust the real media and so many trust me. Let me go to the countries that have achieved excellence and show you more of what is possible. Thank you so much. Be involved, be active in your communities. Make sure people vote. This is not a time to be silent. If you're not getting a decent wage, band together, unionize, strike, or have a qualified slowdown. Don't let anyone bully us anymore. So I see it's at the bottom of the half hour. I'm going to say goodbye. I'll see everyone on Monday. I'm going to some interesting lectures this weekend. And on Monday evening and Tuesday, I'm going up to Albany once again for Lobby Day for 100% renewable energy that will indeed benefit the vulnerable in New York State. So thanks for joining, everyone. Have a great day, a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you Monday. Bye now, and take care. And thank you, Wani. Thank you very much for joining and staying with me. Take care of yourself.